There comes a moment in your life when you realize you've been listening to too many voices, everyone telling you who to be, what to chase, how to feel. And in the process, something precious gets lost, your own voice. You don't even notice it at first. You keep showing up, answering texts, explaining yourself, saying yes when your soul is begging for no. It becomes normal, being tired, overstimulated, stretched thin. But deep down, you feel it. That quiet ache, that sense that you've wandered too far from yourself. Maybe lately you've been craving something simpler, not more noise, not more validation. Just space, just stillness, just enough quiet to hear your own thoughts again. This isn't about running away from the world. It's about returning to yourself. And that is what Stoicism offers you. Not a cold detachment, but a steady, grounded way of living. A path where you no longer feel the need to react to everything. A place where you can breathe, observe, and choose, instead of being pulled in every direction. Today's world celebrates noise, but you're starting to understand the rare strength of silence. You're learning that your energy is sacred, that not everything deserves your reaction, that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to say nothing and keep walking. This video is not here to preach. It's a gentle reminder that you already have what you're looking for. It's not out there. It's within, waiting for you to notice. So if you've been feeling tired, if the noise has been too much, maybe today is the day you start choosing differently. Not louder, but quieter, not faster, but deeper. Let's begin. Lesson 1, the power of not reacting. There is a quiet kind of strength that often goes unnoticed. Not the strength to fight, but the strength to stay still, to pause, to breathe. To not react when everything in you wants to lash out, explain, defend, or run. You know that feeling when someone says something that cuts deep, or when life throws a sudden change at you. Your heart races, your mind spins, and every part of you wants to do something. Say something, prove something, but what if you didn't? What if, just for a moment, you stepped back instead of stepping in? Because here's the truth. Reacting is easy. It's instinct. But choosing not to react, that is where real mastery begins. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't owe the world a response every time it pulls at your nerves. Some things, some people, are not worth your energy, and the moment you start choosing where your energy goes, you take your power back. Think of all the times your peace was disturbed because of someone else's chaos. Think of all the hours you've spent replaying a conversation, regretting a reaction, wishing you had just stayed silent. Now imagine this: a version of you that doesn't take the bait. A version of you that no longer needs to prove yourself in every room. You walk in calm, centered, unshaken. That's what Stoicism teaches you. Not to be numb, but to be wise. To feel everything but act only on what deserves action. You begin to see that not reacting isn't weakness, it's clarity. It means you're no longer driven by impulse. You're driven by values, by peace, by purpose. There's a phrase by Epictetus that says, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And when you really take that in, you understand. You're not at the mercy of the world. You're not a puppet to every mood, every insult, every disruption. You're free. Free to respond with thought instead of reflex. Free to let go instead of holding grudges. Free to protect your inner world instead of letting it be shaped by every outer noise. And yes, it takes practice. You won't always get it right. Sometimes the emotion will win, but even that's okay, because every time you catch yourself, every time you choose silence over reaction, you grow. You evolve. You become someone new. So next time you feel that rush, the need to react, to snap, to explain, pause. Take one deep breath and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If it's not, let it pass. Let them talk. Let the moment drift away like a wave that never touched the shore, because the most powerful person in the room is often the one who says the least, not because they don't have words, but because they don't waste them. And you're beginning to become that person. Not cold, not distant, but grounded, certain, clear. This is the power of not reacting, and it's already inside you, waiting for you to trust it, to choose it, to live it. In the stillness you create, you'll find more than peace. You'll find yourself. Let that be the beginning. Lesson 2. Attention is the new currency. Spend it wisely. In today's world, time is valuable. But even more valuable is where you direct your attention. Think about it. Attention is the new currency. It's what you spend every day, and it's what the world wants most from you. Every notification, every conversation, every headline, every new trend, they all want your attention. And the question is, what are you paying attention to? Where are you spending your focus? Who or what are you giving your time to? You've probably heard the saying, time is money. But now, we're living in a time where attention is money. And just like with money, if you don't manage it carefully, you'll waste it. If you keep giving it to things that don't truly matter, you'll find yourself drained, empty, and frustrated. All that energy, all that focus, gone. Think about the moments when you felt scattered, when your mind was everywhere at once, on work, on social media, on things that don't serve you, on everyone else's needs but your own. When you feel like that, you lose yourself. Your clarity slips away, and you start living reactively. You're not in control. Your attention is being pulled in 1,000 different directions. But here's the power you have. You can choose where your attention goes. You can choose what you give your energy to. It's like a muscle, this ability to direct your focus. The more you practice focusing on what truly matters, the stronger that muscle becomes. So what truly deserves your attention? Is it the constant stream of distractions, or is it your goals, your well-being, your passions, your relationships, your inner peace? You have a limited amount of attention each day, and it's your choice how you spend it. Each minute you give away is a minute you'll never get back. So ask yourself, is this worth my focus? Is this taking me closer to the person I want to be? Imagine if you spent just 5% more of your attention on things that fuel you, things that add value to your life. What if you spent your attention on your health, your mind, your relationships? What if you spent it on your dreams, your goals, the things that truly matter to you? How different would your life be? This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you need to eliminate every distraction. It means you need to be intentional. To become aware of where your focus is going and ask yourself, is this serving me? When you start becoming mindful of where you place your attention, you'll feel a shift. Your life will start to feel more aligned. You'll start to feel more present, more centered, more in control. You won't be swayed by every little noise or distraction. Instead, you'll be intentional about the moments that matter. And that's where the power lies. Your attention is yours. It's your most precious asset. And when you start spending it wisely, you'll realize just how much of your life you've been missing out on. The world will still try to demand your focus, but you'll have the power to decide when and where to give it. You'll learn to protect your attention as if it's the most valuable resource you have. Because in many ways, it is. So, the next time your mind starts to wander, ask yourself, where is my attention right now? Is this bringing me closer to the life I want? It's time to take back control. It's time to direct your focus on what truly matters. And once you start, you'll see how everything else falls into place. Lesson 3. The quiet mind builds the strongest foundation. In the chaos of modern life, noise surrounds you everywhere. The demands, the expectations, the constant movement. It can feel like your mind is always racing. Thoughts rushing through like a storm you can't control. It's exhausting. It's overwhelming. And sometimes, it feels like you can't find peace, no matter how hard you try. But deep within you lies a quiet strength, a strength that only comes when your mind is still. The quiet mind is not passive or weak. No, it is powerful. It is the foundation upon which your life is built. When your mind is calm, you see things more clearly. You can hear your own thoughts, your own intuition. And from that stillness, you gain insight. You discover the truth that is always within you but gets drowned out by the noise of everyday life. Think about it. How many decisions have you made in haste, out of confusion or fear? How many times have you reacted without thinking, only to regret it later? How many moments have you missed because your mind was too cluttered to notice? This is where the power of a quiet mind comes in. It gives you the space to reflect, to pause, to choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. When you can find peace within yourself, you can face any challenge with strength and clarity. You become more grounded, more centered. And the choices you make come from a place of wisdom, not fear. You may be wondering how to achieve this quiet mind. How do you silence the noise in a world that never stops? It's simpler than you might think. It begins with awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, and the patterns you repeat. It's about observing, not judging. It's about letting go of the need to control everything. And most importantly, it's about accepting the present moment as it is, without trying to change it. You don't need to quiet the world around you. You can't control that. But you can control the storm inside your mind. And once you do, you'll notice a shift. The world won't seem as overwhelming. The decisions you face won't feel as daunting, because you'll have created a strong foundation within yourself, rooted in calmness. Imagine, just for a moment, how powerful you would be if your mind were still. How different would your life be if you could approach every situation with clarity and composure? What if you could simply pause, take a deep breath, and choose your next step with calm confidence? The quiet mind doesn't just help you survive life. It allows you to thrive. It helps you build your life from a place of strength, not reaction. It's the foundation on which everything else stands. So start small. Take a moment today to find stillness, pause, breathe, and just be. Observe your thoughts without judgment, without getting caught up in them. It's not about emptying your mind. It's about allowing it to settle, to become clear, to find peace amidst the storm. When you cultivate this inner peace, everything else follows. Your decisions become more deliberate. Your emotions become more balanced, and your life becomes more purposeful, because the quiet mind builds the strongest foundation for the life you want to create. And that foundation starts with you. Lesson 4. Not everyone deserves to understand. Have you ever felt misunderstood? Like the world sees you through a distorted lens, and no matter how much you try to explain yourself, they just don't get it. It can be frustrating. It can make you feel small, like you're invisible, or worse, like you're constantly having to defend who you truly are. But what if I told you that not everyone needs to understand you? That not everyone deserves to understand you? It's a liberating thought, isn't it? You don't owe anyone an explanation for being who you are. You don't have to justify your dreams, your choices, or your way of living to those who will never truly see your worth. And most importantly, you don't need to spend your energy trying to make them see it. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval. It's natural to want to be understood, to have people see your heart and your intentions. But here's the truth. Some people simply won't ever get it. They won't understand your journey, your struggles, or the depth of your thoughts. And that's okay. You see, when you live authentically, you are bound to attract all kinds of people. Some will resonate with your energy, your values, your essence. Others will criticize, judge, or misinterpret you. But their understanding, or lack of it, doesn't define you. It doesn't change who you are at the core. Your worth doesn't hinge on whether or not someone else understands you. In fact, when you stop trying to explain yourself to everyone, you free up space. You free up energy for what truly matters. You can focus on the people who do see you for who you are. The ones who recognize your uniqueness without needing a full explanation. The ones who appreciate your silence, your actions, and your intentions without questioning them. And here's the most powerful part. You begin to understand yourself more deeply when you stop seeking external validation. You stop defining yourself by the opinions of others. Instead, you define yourself by your own standards, by your inner truth, by your own heart. Now, this doesn't mean that you should shut yourself off from all feedback or completely isolate yourself. That's not the point. The point is to recognize that there will always be those who don't see your value. And that's not a reflection of who you are. It's simply a reflection of their limitations. Their inability to understand the full depth of your experiences, your growth, and your potential. You are not obligated to open up to everyone. And you certainly don't need to defend your story to those who aren't willing to listen with an open heart. There is freedom in knowing that you don't owe anyone your energy, your time, or your inner world. You get to choose who deserves to be part of your journey. And when you do, you attract the right people, the ones who will understand you, not because they've been given an explanation, but because they can see your truth without needing words. Remember, the ones who truly matter will never ask you to explain yourself. They will understand you without effort, because they know what it feels like to be seen. And in that quiet, unspoken understanding, your connection with them will be stronger than any words could ever express. So, the next time you feel misunderstood or pressured to explain yourself, take a deep breath. Remember that not everyone is meant to understand you, and that's more than okay. It's your truth. It's your life, and in the end, you are the only one who truly needs to understand yourself. and that is enough. Lesson 5. Do not enter every battle. You're invited to. Every day you face challenges, and the world often invites you to fight. You might feel the pull to respond, to stand up for yourself, to defend your honor, or to prove that you are right. But here's the truth. Not every battle is yours to fight. And not every challenge is worth your energy. There is immense power in choosing which battles to enter, and more importantly, which to walk away from. You've probably had moments where you were provoked, where someone or something tried to drag you into an argument, a drama or a conflict that you knew deep down wasn't worth it. But in that moment, the urge to react can be strong. You might feel like you have to prove yourself, like your silence will be seen as weakness. But that's where the Stoic wisdom steps in. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Think about it for a moment. What happens when you engage in every conflict that comes your way? You spread yourself thin. Your energy becomes consumed by others' drama. Your focus gets lost in battles that don't truly matter to your peace, your growth, or your happiness. In the end, you're not fighting for what matters. You're fighting because you've been invited to. And that's not the same thing. By not entering every battle, you protect your inner peace. You preserve your mental clarity. You choose where to place your energy and attention, and you use it wisely. You remind yourself that your time and energy are precious commodities, and they should be spent only on things that align with your values, your goals, and your truth. This doesn't mean you should shrink away from challenges when they are necessary. It doesn't mean you should avoid confrontation when standing up for what's right. But it does mean you should ask yourself, is this battle truly mine? Is it aligned with the life I want to create for myself? Or is it simply a distraction, a trap meant to pull me away from what's important? You see, when you refuse to enter every battle, you create space for what truly matters. You give yourself the freedom to focus on your own growth, your own journey. You recognize that not every argument is worth your time, and not every person who challenges you deserves your energy. Your life is too valuable to spend it reacting to every provocation. Imagine how much peace you would feel if you stopped engaging with negativity, if you stopped trying to convince people who will never understand you. Think about how much energy you could reclaim if you didn't respond to every criticism or every slight. Your mind would be clearer, your emotions steadier, and your decisions more grounded in what really matters. It's a choice, a conscious decision to stop letting the world dictate your reactions, to stop being swept up in battles that have nothing to do with your purpose, to understand that some things aren't worth your time, and that walking away is sometimes the greatest sign of strength. When you choose to walk away from a battle, you are not weak. You are not conceding defeat. Instead, you are showing the strength of your discipline and your wisdom. You are saying that your peace, your goals, and your life are more important than engaging with every conflict that arises. So, the next time you are invited into a battle, take a moment. Pause. Ask yourself, is this my battle? Is it worth my energy? If the answer is no, then choose not to engage. Walk away with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth, their purpose, and the value of their peace. Remember, you don't have to fight every battle. You don't owe anyone your energy. And in choosing wisely where to place your attention, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your peace, and you create a life that is focused, purposeful, and true to you. Lesson 6. Growth happens in solitude. Have you ever felt like you were constantly surrounded by noise, people, and distractions? You know, the kind of noise that fills every moment of your day, making it difficult to hear your own thoughts? It's easy to get lost in all of this. But there's a quiet truth here. Growth doesn't happen in the noise. Growth happens in the silence, in the solitude, when you're alone with yourself and your thoughts. There's a profound strength in solitude that most people overlook. We live in a world that values constant connection, the constant rush of social media, the endless chatter of others. But in the midst of all this, have you ever taken a step back to ask yourself, when was the last time I was truly alone with myself? When was the last time you gave yourself the space to simply think, to reflect, to grow without any outside influence? It's in these moments of solitude that true growth happens. It's when you are alone with your thoughts that you start to hear the whispers of your inner self, the quiet voice that guides you toward who you are meant to be. It's in solitude that you begin to connect with your deepest desires, your true goals, and your most authentic self. You see, the world around you can be loud and chaotic, but it's only in the stillness that you can hear your own heart, your own mind, your own soul. In solitude, there is no pressure to conform, no outside distractions pulling you in different directions. It's just you, being you. Think about the times when you've truly made progress in your life. Chances are those moments of growth didn't happen in the midst of a crowded room or in the middle of a group conversation. They happened when you were alone, reflecting, learning, and making decisions that aligned with your true purpose. When you spend time in solitude, you allow yourself to pause and reassess. You create space for introspection, for self-awareness. You give yourself the freedom to acknowledge your weaknesses, to celebrate your strengths, and to chart the course for where you want to go. Solitude doesn't mean loneliness. It means creating the necessary space for yourself to grow without the constant influence of others. It means finding comfort in your own company and trusting that this time alone is not wasted, but rather an investment in your future. And here's the key. The more comfortable you become in solitude, the more you start to understand your own power. You start to realize that you don't need anyone else's validation to grow. You don't need to be constantly surrounded by people to feel complete. Your growth is yours to own, and it happens most profoundly when you allow yourself the space to become who you are meant to be. In these quiet moments, you can discover who you really are, without the noise, without the pressure, without the expectations. You can reflect on what's truly important to you, what your values are, and what kind of life you want to create. And as you sit in this space, you'll begin to realize that you are not just waiting for something to happen. You are actively creating the change you desire from within. So, how do you begin? Start small. Carve out time each day to be with yourself, whether that's through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. Give yourself the gift of quiet reflection and allow your mind to roam freely. It's in these moments that your most authentic self will begin to emerge. Remember, growth happens in solitude. It's not about being away from the world forever. It's about taking the time to reflect, recharge, and connect with the person you truly are. And when you give yourself that gift of solitude, you'll find that you return to the world stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. Trust in the power of solitude. Trust that this time alone is not time wasted, but rather an investment in your growth and your future. And remember, the most profound changes begin when you take the time to sit quietly and listen to your own soul. Lesson 7. Let the world talk. You stay focused. Have you ever felt like the world is constantly trying to pull you in 100 different directions? People always have opinions, judgments, and expectations. It's easy to get caught up in the noise. But here's something important to remember. Let the world talk. You stay focused. The world will always have something to say. Some will praise you, others will criticize you. Some will cheer for your successes, while others will doubt your every step. But the most powerful thing you can do in this moment is to stay focused on what truly matters to you. Because no matter what anyone else says, it's your journey, your purpose, and your life. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you been distracted by other people's opinions? How many decisions have you made based on what others think of you? The truth is, it's so easy to get caught up in trying to please everyone else. But in doing so, you lose sight of who you are and what you truly want. The world will always talk. But your focus, your energy, should be directed towards your own path, your own growth. It doesn't matter if others don't understand your choices. It doesn't matter if they criticize you or try to steer you in another direction. What matters is that you remain true to yourself. This isn't about ignoring the advice or feedback of others. It's about discerning what is important for you and what is simply noise. There will be times when the world will offer valid insights, but there will also be times when the noise is just a distraction, a test of your resolve. And in those moments, your ability to stay focused will be your greatest strength. When you stay focused, you build momentum. You allow yourself the space to grow without the weight of other people's expectations dragging you down. You begin to trust yourself more, to believe in your own vision, and to walk your own path. It's not always easy, but it is powerful. Have you ever noticed how much energy you waste when you try to meet everyone's expectations? When you let other people's opinions shape your decisions, you're giving away your power. You're letting others define your worth, your direction, and your potential. But what if you stopped? What if you decided that your focus is yours and yours alone? It's time to reclaim that power. To let the world talk, but to stay focused on your own journey. There will always be noise, always be distractions, but your ability to ignore them, to stay grounded in what matters most to you, will define your success. This focus doesn't mean you cut yourself off from others. It means you stop allowing the world to dictate your every move. You give yourself permission to follow your own intuition, to listen to your own inner voice. When you do this, you'll find a clarity that you didn't know was possible. The world will talk. But when you stay focused on your own path, you'll find that the opinions of others become less significant. You'll stop looking to others for validation because you will already know deep down that you are on the right path. Remember, the world is full of distractions. People will talk, they will judge, and they will offer advice. But none of that matters as much as your ability to stay focused on your own growth, your own journey. When you stop letting the world's noise dictate your actions, you create space for the most important thing, your own progress. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by the opinions of others, take a deep breath and remember, let the world talk, but you stay focused. Your path is yours alone to walk, and it's up to you to stay true to that path, no matter what anyone else says. When you stay focused, you'll begin to see how much power you truly have. And you'll realize that, in the end, it's your own journey, your own choices, That will define the life you lead. Conclusion. As we come to the end of this lesson, I want you to take a moment and reflect on the journey you've just started. It's a journey that's all about focusing on what truly matters to you and letting go of everything that tries to distract you. You've heard the noise, the judgments, the opinions, and yet the path forward is clear. Stay focused on your own truth. Remember, the world will always talk, but it's up to you whether you listen or not. And when you choose to stay focused, you unlock a power within yourself that no one can take away. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what will happen if you stop letting the distractions of the world control you? What could your life look like if you kept your attention on your purpose, your growth, and your dreams? The answer lies within you, because you already have everything you need to succeed. So here's your challenge, your call to action. Starting today, begin to notice the distractions in your life, the opinions, the judgments, the outside noise that tries to pull you away from your true self. And when you hear them, simply acknowledge them. But don't let them guide your decisions. Let the world talk, and then keep walking your own path. It's time to focus. It's time to create the life you've always wanted, the life that's aligned with who you truly are. And as you step forward, remember this: you are in control. You are the author of your own story, and your focus is your greatest tool. Now go out there and show the world what you're capable of. Stay focused, stay true, stay unstoppable.